couple months ago, I directed a theatrical production as part of my art appreciation subject at my college, and the main subject matter of that play was the comedic effect that English has with the Filipino culture, and it was really well received. And that got me thinking, what is it with English that is so funny to the Filipino people?
Are you kidding?
Now, if you live in the Philippines, it's quite obvious in the media and in real life that there's some sort of stigma when it comes to the English language. It's seen as this tool to boost yourself status-wise, in that if you learn how to speak English or if you speak English fluently, you're automatically excluded from everybody else and seen as something intimidating or superior. And this sense of inferiority is the root of why it's so funny. When somebody speaks a language that's seen as superior and they fail at it, that is seen as a really big target for people to punch or to pick on. And that's why it's such a huge comedic tool in the Philippines. You can see it in TV, in all the talk shows and all the reality shows, that there are some personalities out there that are based on this sort of stigma, that is based on this sort of treatment of the English language. Now, you can see in other countries that English is just a language. In Sweden, they speak 3 languages, and English is just a language. That's all it is. It's a means of communication. It's a system of writing, and that's all it is. So how come there's this huge power that comes with English in the Philippines? Now, the answer is pretty clear when you look at the history of things. The oppression of the Philippine people, the effect that foreigners have had on this land. But we're way past that colonization, aren't we? How come this sort of stigma has evolved to pick on our own culture? It's no longer the foreigners that are oppressing Filipinos, it's more so the Filipinos oppressing themselves. And this form of comedy has turned into, let's say, picking on someone because they can't speak a language, or picking on someone because they have an accent. Now, is that a form of racism if you're racist to your own people and how they speak? Now, in other countries like in Ireland or in Scotland or in Russia, they have their own accent, but do they pick on each other just because they don't sound American, or they don't sound Australian, or they don't sound white? There is this dominance that Westernization has really left on the Philippine people, and you can see how it's evolved through the generations. What does this mean for the people? What does this mean for the language? So what do I want you to take out of this video? If you're in the Philippines and you're currently a student, or if you're somebody that is intimidated by English, or if you're somebody who speaks fluently in English, stop treating it like a class thing.